Hi, this is Les-Levine, the self-proclaimed voice of truth and reason in Ohio sports. Well, it looks like the NBA is going to be the first league out of the box in returning to salvage something from this season. While the Cavaliers might benefit a little bit from playing a few more games, it's really hard to argue against them being left off. Team chemistry could be a positive if they played, but I spoke to two doctors today along with a couple of rehab specialists who had other concerns. Certainly, there's the matter of the potential spread of the coronavirus, but these medical people are more worried about high-priced athletes doing serious damage to knees, bones, and muscles because they're probably not in NBA ready-to-play shape. They'll also be putting severe pressure on their bodies for the shortened season. I hope this is not all about LeBron James and his attempt for a fourth championship and another MVP award, but you know what? It could be just that. Dennis-Manoloff, the D-Man, is here. More Sports and Les-Levine is on the air. From the worldwide headquarters of More Sports and Les-Levine, it's a Wednesday night. Good evening, everyone. Welcome once again to More Sports and Les-Levine into our 24th consecutive year, soon to be 25 around Labor Day. It's seen exclusively here on cleveland.com. The D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff, is with us, spreading his time with us and WTAM. Hello, D-Man. How are you?
Good evening, Les. How are you and everybody at Classic? I miss you guys.
Miss you, too. We'll get you down here as soon as we physically can do that. The NBA, they haven't made an official announcement yet, but it looks like they're going to be the first one out of the box when it should be baseball, right?
Yeah, but leave it to the MLB owners and players to have inflated opinions of themselves and blow this opportunity. And yes, I am saying there's an opportunity to grow the game in a pandemic. Certainly in the months of July and August, if MLB is on every night, it would be a wonderful sight. But it looks as though what I thought was impossible, even for them, is now, close to coming to fruition, which is nothing. And we're not going to see a season. And Les, I'll say this, and I've said it before, I'll say it again. If they don't play this year, as symbolic as it is, again, recognizing it would be a shortened season and all that stuff. But if they don't play, knowing the CBA is going to expire at the end of 2021, it is catastrophic for the game of baseball.
I don't think they come back from it. If they don't play this year, I don't think I think it's 20 years before you even think about coming back.
Yeah, and when you say don't come back, I know exactly what you mean. You may have an iteration of Major League Baseball, but it's going to be nowhere near what it used to be. And it's really, really sad that greed has gotten the better of both of these parties. And notice, Les, I said both of the parties. I don't care if the players have a beef with the owners. I don't care if the owners have a beef with the players. This is one of those cases where the negotiators need to get in a room and close all the doors, preferably a windowless room in the basement, and hammer this thing out. I don't care what side you're on. I don't care what you think is wrong with the other offer. You got to figure something out here for the sake of the game.
All right, here's what MLB will be facing if they're trying to match what the NBA is doing with their plan for return. Hey, D-Man, you'll like this. Last night's How Come Quickie. If the NBA goes to Disney World, it's a tall world after all.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the NBA targeted a return July 31st in Orlando, Florida, consisting of 22 teams. Teams would begin a truncated regular season of 8 games, a play-in tournament for the number 8 seed in each conference only if the number 9 seed is within 4 games of the 8. The number 9 seed would then have to beat the number 8 seed twice in a row. Conference call and a vote set for Thursday at 12:30 this afternoon tomorrow. 22 teams are eligible for return. Top 8 teams in the conference: the New Orleans Pelicans, the Portland Trail Blazers, Sacramento Kings, San Antonio Spurs, Phoenix Suns, and Washington Wizards. Only one team in the Eastern Conference, where the Cavaliers reside, would make it out of that group. Fair or unfair to the Cavaliers and the other teams that will make it or not make it?
Well, of course, a truncated season or a shortened season is unfair to everybody, all right? But given the circumstances, it's totally fair that at least 8 teams are left home. Here's the point, Les. If you stunk bad enough over 60 plus games to be one of the worst 8 teams in the NBA, you don't deserve to go to Disney World. I don't care whether it's to play 1 game, 8 games, 15 games. No, you made your bed by being a terrible team for the majority of the season. You don't have a leg to stand on. That goes for the Cavs. I heard the Hawks were complaining, at least the Hawks coach, oh, I got a young team. These guys need to play. Tough and too bad. You stink that bad, you don't have any leverage, period. And by the way, Les, I want to address something you said in your opening comment. Concerns about the NBA players rushing back. I hear what some are saying, and yes, there are going to be injuries. They're inevitable. But to me, if you're an NBA player and you now see that July 31st is on the board and it's a virtual certainty you're coming back on July 31st, you have 2 months to prepare. I don't think you're all of a sudden throwing these guys into the fray. You've given them 55 some days to get ready. I don't think that should be an excuse to say, well, there's going to be so many injuries because these players didn't have time to get ready.
No, I think what these doctors were concerned about is the combination of the coronavirus still hanging around and even getting worse if it does, versus this, and how quick are they going to. You're right. You're talking about 2 months to be prepared. They should be able to be prepared in that amount of time. They know how to take. They know their own bodies. They know how to take care of their bodies.
Right. And Les, regarding the coronavirus, I mean, I know it sounds simple, but to me, everybody that goes down to Orlando, every team personnel gets tested for the coronavirus right out of the gate. Anybody that's got it, automatically removed, sent to quarantine. If you don't have it, you can play that day or practice that day. And then the next day, provided there are enough tests, and I assume there are, the NBA, I would assume, has bought enough, but you test them again. And if you test positive, you're out. If you don't, you're back in.
216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can reach us during the show by email. That, of course, would be real-les-levine@gmail.com. Dennis-Manoloff with us tomorrow night. Mary Kay Cabot will be joining us. Monday night, Ken Carman of the Ken Carman Show with Anthony Lima. In between that, on Friday, you've got Dave Bacon and his weekend winners, and that comes your way right here exclusively on cleveland.com. Alex Van Pelt is coming up. He had a chance to talk to the media today. You'll be shocked if you haven't seen him at the resemblance between him and Freddie Kitchens. We'll check out that and more when we get back. More Sports and Les-levine continues in a moment. The Ohio Lottery has paid out over $1 billion in winnings over the past 6 months. People are winning in record numbers, and winning is happening all around the state of Ohio. Play an Ohio Lottery game and play it today. You can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. It's real simple. New content is posted each and every day. We post a question in the morning, you answer it during the day, and then we put it on the air at night. How much easier can it be than that? More Sports and Les-levine, powered exclusively by cleveland.com.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions, or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Do you like Ohio State football? Would you like to get information from me, Doug Lesmerises, about Ohio State football without having to look at my face? We have got the plan for you. Become an Ohio State text subscriber through cleveland.com. You send a text, 614-350-3315. What do you get? 2, 3, 4 texts right in your phone every day about Ohio State football. Inside information, polls, voting, all kinds of things. You can be on our podcast. We take text subscriber questions on our Buckeye Talk podcast every week. If you really want to be involved with Ohio State football, in season or out of season, become an Ohio State text subscriber from cleveland.com. Send a text to 614-350-3315. 14-day free trial. What do you have to lose? $3.99 a month after that. 614-350-3315. I'll see you in your phone.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had two choices. I was accepted into a four-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students kindergarten through 12th grade can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
For the installation of the offense, obviously it's different for everybody this year, but I think we've, as a group, done a good job of understanding what we're trying to get accomplished. And Baker's been, asking every right question that we have. At the end of the day, we get together for live meetings, and there's some recorded portions of the installation that go out, and you always get feedback from Baker, from Case, the quarterbacks. They do a good job. I think anything that's not clear to them, they get cleared up in that meeting before the end of the day is over. Then they move on to the new information that we're installing the next day. But so far, it's been good. As far as the footwork goes, that's the part that you can actually coach, over the internet, which is cool. So, you're basically, and kind of the technology I got was from a golf lesson I had 10 years ago, and they used this app that I still use to this day. And you can really slow-mo and break it down. You can draw on the app as well. So it gives me the ability to share my screen with Baker, watch his feet, and really you can zoom all the way into just the feet, and you can talk about each step, and the position of each step, the length of each step. It's actually a pretty cool tool. It's the first time I had really used it extensively to teach footwork, but it's been useful. Yeah, so Baker's footwork from the gun will change. We talked about with left foot forward, but from under center, we trying to take some of that giant stagger step that he has out. I think our philosophy is we want to be with West Coast footwork. There's a way to teach that, and it's not with that giant stagger. So under center will change slightly for him too, but I think it ultimately will add to the rhythm and the timing of the pass game.
Hey, D-Man, how many Browns players will come into camp there and say, hey, I thought we got rid of Freddie Kitchens?
If you hadn't have told me that, Les, before he came on, I mean, I was like stunned when I saw it. I don't remember the last time I had seen a picture of Alex Van Pelt, but you're right. He's Freddie Jr.
And I can't believe he was wearing the Pittsburgh Started It sweatshirt. Had to be left somewhere. Had to be in the closet somewhere. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. D-Man, Dennis-Manoloff, is with us. That was Alex Van Pelt, who's the offensive coordinator. No news whether he's going to be calling plays or not. I don't think he's going to. I would hope that he would, because I don't want to see a rookie head coach get bogged down in that. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, I kind of wish that Stefanski would. You and I are on the same page there, Les. I wish Stefanski would offload the play calling, at least, at the beginning of the season. All right, let's say that he gives it to Van Pelt or some consortium or whatnot, and right out of the chute, he doesn't like what he sees. Well, number one, within the game, he has the veto power on any play call. He can change it. Number two, if let's say a game or two goes by and he doesn't like it, then I'm taking over. What's the harm there?
Well, I think the
So
harm would be that most coaches, head coaches, are so insecure about their jobs that they want to take what they can take and make sure that if somebody's going to get blamed, it's that guy, that coach that gets blamed, or the head coach who gets blamed. I understand that completely, but uh, you should be secure enough in your position if you've got the job that will encompass everything there, including handing off the play calling to somebody else. But you're right. You got two ways of changing it. You don't like what the play caller's calling or what he's doing Monday through Saturday, take it away from him in game 3. Simple.
yeah, and Les, here's the thing. You hear people say, as they said, including me, about Kitchens. One of the main reasons he was hired was supposedly his play calling acumen. So you don't want to take that away. But as we know, in watching these first year NFL head coaches, and more to the point, Les, you hear the veteran NFL coaches say if they had something to do over again at the start of their NFL head coaching careers, it would be offloading the play calling.
It makes
You hear
sense.
that? I remember Jeff Fisher talking about that for one. So, just because you think you can do it right out of the gate doesn't mean that it's going to be the most comfortable thing or the best thing for your team.
All right, here's the thing that's starting to crop up a little bit nationally with all these media insiders, and that is they're starting to kind of give a mulligan to the Browns for last year and to Baker Mayfield, and expect them to do better this year. Also, there's a new thing out where a lot of people comparing Bill Belichick to other coaches in the league, which is absurd. He's on top, everybody else is below him, no matter how bad they play this year. Anyway, Ryan Clark is of ESPN and the Get Up show, and he looked at it this way. You look at these two teams, we're talking about the Browns and the Patriots, and the difference in the trajectory of what they'll be like. I believe the Browns will be a better football team than the New England Patriots this year. I believe the Browns' young quarterback will play better than the young quarterback in New England. And when you put all those things together, that leaves Bill Belichick and New England Patriots on the outside of the playoff picture, and Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns inside. So they're almost giving the Browns a mulligan from last year.
Well, Les, you know me. I love Ryan Clark as much as any analyst this side of Joe Thomas, okay? But in this particular quote, I sure as heck hope that the Bake Show in year 3 is better than what the Patriots have the last time I checked. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Les, and have Brian and the great Mike Bacon in the control room correct me. The Patriots haven't signed Cam Newton or Bart Starr reincarnated or Roger Staubach. And the last time I checked, Brady's out of Dodge. They're running Stidham and Hoyer out there at the last time I checked. Maybe I'm wrong. But if that's the case, then Baker Mayfield better outplay that quarterback duo, and the Browns better be better than the Patriots.
And if the Patriots do go to the playoffs this year, I think they just automatically take the team bus or plane and just drive it down 77 to Canton. Don't even wait the 5 years for Belichick.
Yeah, I mean, we know he's in already. He's arguably the greatest to ever do it. Some hold the various scandals against him, and certainly Spygate. But I would put him on that, cliched Mount Rushmore for sure. If not a top 2, then certainly a top 4 quarterback or coach ever. And the fact that Belichick would be able to do it without Brady and presumably without Newton and definitely without Winston, because those were the two guys that were out there in free agency that you were really keeping an eye on. And now Winston is down, I believe, backing up Breeze in New Orleans now that Bridgewater's gone to Carolina. So, here's the thing, though. The Patriots are once again, I think, going to benefit from being in the AFC least. They've been feasting on that terrible division for years and years and years. Now you say, well, the Bills, they're plucky and they're good, and the Jets are getting better and the Dolphins are getting better. But still, I got to see somebody viable knock off the Patriots in that division before I believe that division has any credibility.
Dennis-Manoloff is with us. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. D-Man, you brought up Mount Rushmore. I've got an offshoot of Mount Rushmore. A little bit later, when we get back, we're going to put you to the test on that. We did it to Anthony Lima the other day. We're going to do it to you when we get back. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. East, West, and South. That, of course, the 3 locations, plus the website, northeastfactorydirect.com. That's where you want to go. Get the guaranteed low price of 1 year guaranteed. You buy something at Northeast and find out in the next year that you could have gotten it cheaper, you get that money back immediately. Alex will give it to you right off the bat. We'll take a break. We'll come on back. More from Alex Van Pelt. More Sports and Less being continued exclusively on cleveland.com.
Celebrate Naturestone's 30-year anniversary with a free Naturestone floor. During 2020, we will be giving away 30 free floors to 30 very lucky customers to say thank you for making Naturestone the best concrete flooring solution for garages, basements, and more. Call or visit naturestone.com today to register to win, and we'll send you a copy of our new buyer's guide absolutely free. There's no purchase necessary. Winners will be chosen monthly. With over 30 million square feet installed for more than 60,000 customers, it's easy to see why I always say, it's not just a floor. Wow, it's Naturestone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget. Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
You know, we talked about using 2 or 3 tight ends at a time. You got 2 big-time receivers, 2 big-time running backs, fullback you brought in that Kevin likes to use. How have you guys gone about trying to figure out how you're going to use each package and get all those guys on the field enough as you want?
You know, that'll change weekly. And, one of the things about our offense, we intend to be, multiple in personnel groupings. 1 week it could be, a 3 tight end day. The next week it could be a 3 wide receiver day. We're going to try to give ourselves the best chance to beat you each week. And with whatever personnel group that calls for, we feel like we have good people in those positions and depth at those positions too. So if it's a day where we come out with two running backs, a fullback, a halfback, and 2 wide receivers in our regular package, we're going to put ourselves in a position to win each game, and that might look different each week. But we feel like we have the players at the positions that we have the ability to dictate on our terms how we're going to run offense each week.
Coach, I think the plan was, according to what Kevin Stefanski told us, was that he would have you be calling the plays in the preseason games and then see kind of how it works out as you move into the regular season. With now there being no in-person off-season program, is that still sort of the plan, or how's that shaking out?
It's not actually something that we haven't even discussed, Mary Kay, to be honest with you. I think it's still a fluid situation until we get together and feel more comfortable with each other, him with me more so on the field, in live action where we're calling them, there's no script. You're just calling it offense against the defense. And ultimately, until he feels comfortable with that, I think we're in the same spot as we have been.
D-Man, I smell something brewing. If you were listening closely to what Scott Van Pelt had to say, or Alex Van Pelt had to say, and that is talking about trying to win a different way each week. I don't want to see that. I want you to do what you do best, and don't try to outsmart the other guy, because he'll outsmart you too. I don't like the way that's shaping out.
Les, I think you might be falling victim to one of the things that happens in Cleveland football off seasons all the time. we take these little pressers this time in a video conference, and we just parse out words and we pick out sentences, and
All
it's
right,
like,
you got me.
oh no. I mean, you know what? But I hear you, but it's like nothing that Van Pelt says is going to mean anything if Baker Mayfield, number 6, number 6 in your scorecard, number 1 in your hearts, if he doesn't come out and play well, I don't care if he if he does the Texas two-step on the way back to his plant. If he doesn't play well, nothing that Van Pelt says matters.
No, you're absolutely correct. All right, Brent Sobolewski talked about why the Browns are the perfect fit for Clowney. How about that? From the Bleacher Report, here's what he has to say about Jadeveon Clowney. He says, Cleveland is arguably the best landing spot for the 27-year-old defensive end. Clowney will be able to maximize his value in Cleveland, with myles-Garrett's presence in the lineup being one of the biggest factors. Clowney should understand the value of playing alongside an all-pro level talent. His best all-around performance during the 2018 campaign, when J.J. Watt was healthy for the Houston Texans, Garrett will demand plenty of attention, and protections will often slide in his direction. That'll leave plenty of one-on-one opportunities for whoever lines up on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage. So there you have it. Clowney in 2018 with Houston, 47 tackles, 9 sacks, 16 tackles for loss, 59 pressures, 1 fumble forced, and he made the Pro Bowl. So there you have it. But the problem is he's already basically told them, even though the Browns have outbid everybody else, that he doesn't want to play here. That's a tough thing to follow.
Yeah, Les, maybe he said he doesn't want to play here, or else he's just saying, without saying it, I'm waiting to see if some more money falls from somebody else's tree.
Right.
And if it doesn't, maybe he has a deadline in his head when he would need to make that decision. He could still come here if the reports are true and that the Browns offered him the most. I think given the amount that he was asking for at the beginning, I don't think it's ridiculous to have him sitting there going, why can't I try to get closer to my original number?
Yeah.
Maybe that won't happen at all.
Good point. All right, I told you to put your Cleveland sports media hat on, the expert hat, because I consider you to be such a thing. And this is sort of around your Mount Rushmore statement a couple of minutes ago. We're only going to take we want the 3 top players in Cleveland only, Cleveland with a Cleveland uniform on. Who had the best in Cleveland? We're going to have each one of these guys won 1 championship for the city. LeBron James is 1, Jim Brown's is 2, and number 3 would be Bob Feller. How do you rank them 1, 2, and 3 for what they did in Cleveland alone?
Yeah. You asked that question last week, Les, and I stumbled and bumbled because I'm trying. I mean, as great as LeBron's seasons were with the Cavs, Jim Brown also had some incredible seasons. You're asking me to pick one guy, one season.
1,
right?
2, 3. No. Which one? Who gets the trophy if there was such a thing?
Oh, total contribution to Cleveland.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you.
so
all right, let me
tough.
tell you what I came up with, and see if you can poke holes in it. I never saw Bob Feller play. I saw Jim Brown every game he ever played, either in person or on TV. And LeBron James, you know how many times we saw him. If you ask the experts around the country, who the greatest, for example, the greatest football player, it could be Jim Brown, or Jim Brown could be number 15 in that group if you want to take all the quarterbacks that would go ahead of him. So it's hard to, I don't think anybody today would put Jim Brown as number 1. Probably number 1 running back, but I'm not sure they would say number 1 football player. With Bob Feller, I'm not sure that there's anybody out there in the media, the guys who vote for the Hall of Fame, amongst others, who would say that Bob Feller is one of the top 10 players in baseball history. Would you agree with that?
I mean, on the Feller part, maybe, but Jim Brown, I respectfully disagree with you, Les. I think Jim Brown
is number 1 either way.
One or a all-time greatest player.
Okay, if you put him in number 1, 2, or 3, then you put him where LeBron James is, because other than Paul Pierce, who doesn't like LeBron James, not too many people would put James further down than 1 or 2.
Correct, but you are restricting it to Cleveland performance, and we know that Feller was exclusively Cleveland, Brown was exclusively Cleveland, but LeBron, had a very important 4-season chunk of his career with the Miami Heat, in which he won 2 titles and went to the finals 4 times. And now he's with the Lakers and could do some things there. So part of him finishing in the top, 2, 3, 4 all time is the Miami Heat and perhaps Los Angeles Lakers legacy. Jim Brown would get the nod then just because he was exclusively Cleveland. I mean, Brown to me, Les, you got to see him play. I never did. I've only seen the clips. He's like a mythological figure to me. He's like Zeus. And so I think I'm always going to have him up there with very few, if anybody, because he's such a mythological, legendary football player.
I also think nationally he'd get a lot of people responding that they might not do that to Bob Feller nationally because of the age, because of the years that he played.
As much as I like Bob Feller, and here was the thing too, let's not forget, and we won't, that what Feller lost to his military service. If he has
4 years.
Quality seasons, really good seasons in that span, he's well over 300 victories and all kinds of insane records. So that definitely hurt. But also, having said that, part of Feller's legacy, part of what makes him a legend, is the fact that he, at the peak of his powers, went to fight for this country. So that's like that's an inextricable link to his to his legend.
All right. Also, go ahead.
I think Feller's third on the list. I guess I would go Brown 1, LeBron 2, and Feller 3.
All right. Now, you can't talk about Cleveland sports without thinking of this man's name. Of course, you all remember the Miracle of Richfield. And today the word came down that the great Wes Unseld passed away at the age of 74. When the Cavaliers got Kevin Love a couple of years ago, I said, for you young people, take down this name and look him up on the YouTube or something. And that name was Wes Unseld because Kevin Love's outlet pass, the distance of the court, was a dead-on copy of what Wes Unseld did and invented it. There's not many guys who could do it, and that was exactly where Kevin Love got that length of the court pass, a chest pass from Wes Unseld.
Yeah, and I think is it a Godfather connection with Unseld and Love? I thought I read somewhere, but Kevin Love obviously has whatever the connection is. It's deep with the Unseld family, and yeah, Wes Unseld was a guy when I was a kid in the 70s, and I loved my Cavs. Obviously, Unseld was a guy I didn't like too much. Yeah. But just a workmanlike, lunch pail guy, incredibly strong. I just remember him as a bruiser, as a guy who played fair but played hard.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Love's middle name is Wes, named after Wes Unseld. So there's the connection you're talking about.
Okay.
Pretty strong. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. You can explore your interests and find a program that puts you on a path to a bright future. Tri-C offers more than 1,000 courses and over 140 career and technical programs. Go to tri-c.edu for more information. We'll come back in a moment with Dennis-Manoloff. Tomorrow night, Mary Kay Cabot. More Sports and Les-Levine, powered by cleveland.com.
As a kid growing up, my dream was to go to college, play baseball, and get a degree. Coming out of high school, I had 2 choices. I was accepted into a 4-year university, but I decided to come to Tri-C after receiving a scholarship. I got my associate's degree at Tri-C. They transferred all my credits straight into Baldwin-Wallace, so I started at Baldwin-Wallace University as a junior. My name is Tyler Leonard, and I earned my first degree at Tri-C.
Well, hello, everyone. Let me tell you a little bit about Brown's Football Insider. For only $3.99 a month, you can get text sent right to your phone each day from me, Dan Lobby, Scott Pasco, and Ellis Williams. In addition to that, you'll receive a Football Insider newsletter every day with special things from us, things that you won't see anywhere else on the site. You'll get breaking news, analysis, features, film breakdown, and things like that. Texting us directly gives you a great chance to cut through the clutter of Facebook, Twitter, other social media, and avoid the trolls. Also, it's the only way to get your questions on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. So why should you sign up? Try a 14-day free trial. You can cancel at any time. All it takes is one text, but you won't want to cancel. We have hundreds of subscribers join us over the last year. They love it and have stayed with us. We're seeing the Football Insider community grow every week, and it's only $3.99 a month, which is less than 14 cents a day. What I like most about Football Insider is the opportunity to connect with you one-on-one and really communicate with you. So how can you become a Football Insider? You can click on cleveland.com/Browns, the blue banner at the top of the page. Or easier yet, text me at 216-208-3965. Again, that's 216-208-3965.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting more than just a technician. You're getting someone who pays attention to your needs and the little things that make a big difference. It takes a dealer you can rely on. And to keep your family warm this winter,
here, let me show you how this works.
It takes Bryant.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
And to keep your family comfortable, it takes Smiley One Heating and Cooling. Find them at smiley1.com.
All right, hi, Alex. It's kind of an elephant in the room. Is Odell Beckham's attendance in the Zoom meetings, considering that he was out of it last year? I assume he's been attending. Could you describe his commitment to this portion of your virtual season?
He's all in. He's bought in. He's been there, and it's awesome. And it's good to have him there. I mean, it's good for him. He's obviously needs to learn this system, but to have him involved and everybody involved, everybody's attendance has been outstanding. And that's a tribute to Kevin, I think, and the guys that are buying into the program.
Hey, and back to Odell for 1 second. I mean, obviously you started with a clean slate with him. You didn't really have any preconceived notions, or maybe you did, of who he was. Has he surprised you at all in the way that he's been, so attentive and kind of all in, as you mentioned, or just how do you characterize just your feelings on just getting to know Odell?
It's been great. I've known of Odell, obviously. Ben McAdoo had Odell in New York, and everything that Ben talked to me about him, I've seen. He's a worker. He loves football. He's smart as hell. He's just been a model guy this offseason. I can't wait to get him in the building, get him on the field. He's been outstanding.
Hey, D-Man, there's more of Freddie Kitchens there. It started in Pittsburgh. Yeah. Let's go to the phones. We've never had a call from White House, Ohio, but we will take that one. It's Steve. Steve, good evening.
Hey, Lester. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, the guys here don't know this, but, I open the show usually, and I say into our 24th consecutive year, hey, to Mike Bacon on the God Mike and the D-Man here, this man, Steve Liverani, is absolutely responsible for the first of those 24 years, and it continues on today, and I couldn't be more grateful and thankful for him that he came into my life. So hello, now you're in White House, Ohio.
Yeah, your producer, Debbie, I said to her, she asked me where I was from. I said, I'm in White House, Ohio. And she said, okay, White House. And I said, yeah. And then we spoke for a few minutes, and she goes, Steve, I'm going to put you on hold. What town are you from? And I said, White House. And she said, oh, that's really a town. I said, yeah, that is a town. It's got a population of about 4,000 people. It's about 15 miles north of Bowling Green, and it's God's country out here, but we love it here. But Lester, when you told me, when we spoke earlier today, and you said you're finishing your 24th year and starting your 25th year, I saw two things. One, we are getting old, and number two, you've had an amazing run. I mean, when we started this thing back in our Sports Channel days, we were taking a little bit of a risk, taking this radio show and putting it on Sports Channel, and we caught some flack, especially from the people down the dial, as you say. They weren't happy with me personally, but here you are, almost 25 years later, and I'm just, I'm not surprised, but I'm certainly proud of what you've done with this from way back when.
All right, Mike Bacon, do you want to have him apologize to you for starting this thing? Mike on the God mic.
Well, I tell you, this there's no apologies. This has just been I'm just amazed. You know what? You're an institution here in Cleveland, and I'm just proud to have known you for all these years.
Wow. All right, good night, everybody. D-Man's bowing down to you, Steve, or bowing down to me, one of the two.
Steve Liverani.
Show's over.
By the way, I came up with a how come quickie that pertains to Steve Liverani.
Let's hear it.
How come Steve Liverani from White House, Ohio, if he wants to play basketball, needs to move to Washington Courthouse, Ohio?
That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll take it.
Do you believe Ohio has
those
two cities?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Dennis.
Can you believe Ohio has those two cities? White House, Ohio, and Washington Courthouse, Ohio.
You know where Engagement, Ohio is? Anybody here know where Engagement, Ohio? No?
No, no.
Between Marion and Dayton.
Wow.
Well, there you go. Now, I wouldn't expect anything less from you.
Better than when I grew up there.
Let me remind you of you had a How Come Quickie back in the day, way back in the day, talking about the Cavaliers, and you called them Flo White and the Seven Dwarfs.
Well, it's not politically correct today, but we did use that back then. And they let us still do it.
Yeah. And I repeated it on the air, and I, as the general manager of Sports Channel at the time, it probably wasn't a wise thing to repeat on the air, but I did anyway. But I have one take for you today, and again, this is more just to say hello and just reconnect, which we did today earlier. But I'm enjoying more than anything about these leagues being shut down since March. The thing I'm enjoying most about this is the pretzel that they're twisting themselves into to try and get themselves back on and playing. I find that most entertaining. And, they're all claiming it's, for the good of the fans. And, we all need sports, but, it's driving this. And, I'm on one hand, I'm glad that I'm not, in this business anymore because I'd be dealing with it on the other end with the TV rights and everything. But I'm just finding it very entertaining to see how they're going through the hoops that they're trying to go through to get these games on. And I'll be not surprised, but somewhat disappointed, I guess, if baseball ends up, shooting themselves in the foot and they end up not being able to come together on the deal.
Yeah,
it wouldn't shock me, but it would certainly, it could be the end. It would be a really tough thing for baseball to try and come back from.
All right, one of these days we're going to hook you up
Curious what your guys' thoughts are on that.
Yeah, we're going to hook you up with Zoom one of these days and maybe do a show about the business of baseball and basketball and so on, because nobody knows it better than you. Steve, we got to move on. You understand how this business works. The clock keeps ticking.
Absolutely.
Thanks for everything you've done for me, and we appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
All right, take care, Les. Good seeing you, Dennis, as well. Take care.
Thank you, Steve Liverani. Steve Liverani. What a guy, what a job he has done, no question about that. Hey, Mike, within the community, the sports community, broadcasting community, there's nobody with a better reputation than that guy, despite the fact that he forced me onto the air. 216-575-0403 is the number to call. Northeast Factory Direct. 3 great locations: West 140th Street, Lakeland Boulevard, Freeway Drive, that's in Macedonia, and of course, northeastfactorydirect.com. Sokolowski's University, and keep checking their website. They'll let you know what the plans are and when they can come back, and you check it out. It's one of the great destination places in Northeast Ohio. We'll come back in a moment. More Sports and Les-levine with the D-Man Dennis-manoloff, exclusively on cleveland.com.
Your home is your most important investment, and your basement is the go-to part of your home. It's your children's rec room. It's where your family and friends spend time together. It's much more than just a basement. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic Nature Stone basement floor. And every Nature Stone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive mini pearl stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor. Wow, it's Nature Stone.
When it comes to selling you a mattress, most retailers are handing you a line. A long line of extra steps that drive up costs and create confusion. At the Original Mattress Factory, we simplify the mattress shopping experience by building mattresses and box springs in our own local factories and selling them direct to you. It's short, sweet, and simply makes sense. So experience more than just the mattress store. Experience an original, the Original Mattress Factory.
Presque Isle Downs and Casino has sports betting. Use one of our 50 state-of-the-art Bet America kiosks to place your bet and watch your favorite games on one of our many HD televisions or visit our sportsbook area. Only at Presque Isle Downs and Casino.
Let's take a look at this date in sports history. June 3rd, 2016, the greatest, Muhammad Ali, passes away at the age of 74. Let's check out this date in Les-Levine history, see what was going on then. 2007, Les emceed a dinner in downtown Cleveland. One of the honorees was the late Bill Veeck. His son, Mike Veeck, on tape said, "You were there to honor the late Bill Veeck. I want you all to know that he's not late. He's just not going to be there." True story. 216-575-0403 is the number. Dennis-Manoloff is with us. Hey, D-Man, one good thing I think is the Cavs may get the #1 choice this year. Is that good or bad?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be determined, but I mean, the problem with this year's draft list, from what I've read, is there's a premium on the top end talent, and there's really no can't miss, super stud anywhere near the line of like a LeBron James or a Dwayne Wade or that type of transcendent player. So we'll see, but it seems like there's not a lot of superstars, and the ones who are deemed to be really, really good are not, at least not yet, pegged as transcendent players.
Well, let's take a look at what's out there, at least 4 or 5 of them. In no particular order. You start out with Anthony Edwards. There you see his stats: 19 points a game, 5 rebounds, and 2.8 per game assists. And he was shot 40% from the field, 29% from three-point land. And he is 6'5", 225. Coached by Tom Crean. Remember, he coached at Indiana, and he also coached Dwayne Wade and Victor Oladipo. True power forward who plays like a bigger version of Oladipo. That comes from NBADraftRoom.com. Then there's lamelo-ball, D-man that's always going to have his father in the background, right? You can't think of him as a player without thinking of the father. And 2019, 20 stats, 17 points per game, 7.5 rebounds. And you see it right there. He won the NBL Rookie of the Year honors in Australia and played only 12 games due to a foot injury. Then you have James-Wiseman, had some controversy off the court. He's from Memphis. He's 7'1", 240 pounds. And he didn't play in many games, 3, so it's kind of a small sample size. NCAA gave him a 12-game suspension after receiving improper benefits from Coach Penny Hardaway. There you see what happened there. Then you have a name that I think most people in Ohio know, Obi-Toppin out of Dayton, 6'9", 220, 20 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 2.2 assists per game, and 1.2 blocks. He was the Atlantic 10 Player of the Year and received the Karl Malone Award given to the nation's top power forward. So, I mean, that's the name that most people, I think, got a chance to see. Didn't play a lot of games, but more than anybody else out there at that level. He might be the one. If you were going to pick it out of a hat right now, it might be that one. You have a thought one way or the other, D-Man?
Yeah, Les. I mean, regarding Ball, as you said, I mean, who knows what happens with his father as far as the influence. It seemed like his influence had waned a little bit, at least where Lonzo was concerned when he was shipped off to the Pelicans. But Ball, the questions about Ball are, number one, that frame. I mean, 6'8" at $180. You're going to have to put on a lot of beef to play in the NBA, to withstand the rigors of the NBA. Plus, he's got to shoot better. The one that scares me, the matchup that scares me, in other words, matching the player with the correct team, is Obi-Toppin to Golden State. That would scare me as somebody who detests Golden State, given what they did to the Cavaliers for 3 out of those 4 seasons. But you have next season, you could potentially have, a healthy Klay Thompson, a healthy Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and then you added Obi-Toppin, who some are saying, okay, is a guy without a position, but the Warriors were really at the forefront of that positionless basketball, that fluidity, that space and hurried kind of a game. And so Toppin, to me, would fit perfectly with Golden State.
Sounds like a guy who should be in Thomas the Train, the kids used to play with. We asked our Facebook questioners, or seekers out of questions, who would you like to see the Cavs draft with their first round pick? Ted Moon says, gentlemen, if I may, this team is at a point where they can use a little coachable personality. So in this order, I need from Memphis, James-Wiseman. The game is still over centers, isn't it? Tell that to Zion. This kid is close. Then from Australia, the NBL, that is, speaking of personality, lamelo-ball. And lastly, from Georgia, Anthony Edwards. He's a tank, and he might be a reach, but I like him, and I bet the D-Man does too. Larry Pantages says Obi-Toppin from Dayton, the only player nationwide who averaged 20.7 rebounds and shot better than 60%. Those are Larry Nance Sr. type numbers. And Tim Ross finishes it with not just a point guard. Sexton and Garland were starting to develop and get over the hump, and we may need to fill out the rest of the roster with different players. So that's what we're getting from Facebook.com, where you can find us at Facebook.com/more-sports-and-les-levine. We'll come on back in a moment. We'll find out, we'll tell you about Mary Kay Cabot, who's joining us tomorrow night. Dennis-Manoloff tonight. More Sports and Les Levine continues exclusively on cleveland.com.
From school, it's where your family and friends gather together. It's much more than just a garage. Now is the perfect time to add beauty and value to your home with an authentic NatureStone garage floor. And every NatureStone floor comes with Russell's Promise, our true unconditional warranty. For a limited time, get our exclusive gray-brown blend stone for as low as $2.99 a square foot plus installation. Schedule your free cost estimate easily online today at naturestone.com. It's not just a floor, wow, it's NatureStone.
There are tastes we remember. Every smell brings the happiness of times gone by. Experience this every time you walk into Gallucci's Italian Foods. Whether you need lunch on the go, a catered party, or that perfect blend of wine, meats, and cheeses, Gallucci's has exactly what you're looking for. Straight from Mama's Kitchen for old world traditions or original experiences. From the tastes you remember to new flavors you'll never forget, Gallucci's is a tasty branch of your family tree.
The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education program recognizes role model students and teachers from across Ohio. Nominations can now be done completely online. To nominate a deserving teacher or student, go to ohiolottery.com. In the About section, find Partners in Education. There you will find links to the nomination forms. Students, kindergarten through 12th grade, can be academic all-stars. Teachers can be honored as a Teacher of the Month. The Ohio Lottery Partners in Education, where stars shine.
No quickies? Tomorrow night, Mary Kay Cabot from cleveland.com and the Plain Dealer joins us. You see us live from 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and you can find us anytime on cleveland.com. Just punch up the archive, and there we are, whether you want it or not. Birthdays for today: Emmett Thomas, born in 1943. Jumping the jumper. Billy Cunningham turned out to be a great coach with the Sixers. Pete Zaria was born on this date in 1947. There's Travis Hafner on the left. Rafael Nadal and Larry Ogunjobi of the Cleveland Browns, all celebrating birthdays on the 3rd of June. Time for a How Come Quickie. How come the city of Baltimore took the baseball team from St. Louis and a football team from Cleveland, but didn't have the guts to keep the name Browns in either case? You know, D-Man, I'm not sure a lot of Cleveland fans even know that the Baltimore Orioles descended from the St. Louis Browns.
But listen, Les, I want to say something, though. I know it's not a How Come Quickie, but I had never heard you mention that thing about Engagement, Ohio. That was one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
Well, thank you very much. I am sure that my normal email or How Come Quickie callers will say, "Oh, you stole that from somebody." It may have been used. I don't know. When I came up with it, I didn't say I'm going to steal Mr. Gullible's quote from August 13th.
Oh, Les, speaking of,
yeah,
Gullible called me last Thursday on my show on WTAM. It was awesome to get a call from him.
You know, I'm thinking about you doing that show on TAM, and I think in 1989 or 90, I did the post game, the 10th inning show from there, and it was so. Now we just took a call from White House, Ohio. We take calls from Florida, California, Colorado, New York. We take them every night like that. And it was amazing back in 89 or 90 that you could actually take a call from out of state, and the people had to hear you for them to call you. So I remember one night the guy held up a sign and he goes, "St. Louis." All right, let's go to St. Louis on line 4. And Claire Isabella came in, and now today we're doing it, taking it worldwide callers here. Didn't take long for that to pop up.
Yeah, Les, how about before the pandemic when we found out we have listener and viewership in California grocery stores?
Right. You know, the first night I did 10th inning on TAM, had my car stolen. Welcome to the big time. They found it like 3 days later.
Yeah,
well, what was left of it.
I hope that doesn't happen to me tomorrow.
No, you're
What's that?
No, that won't. I guarantee that won't. All right, I got a couple of minutes here to add to anything that we missed out on tonight. You got your thoughts on baseball? Do you think somehow, some way in the next week to 10 days they're going to come to their senses here?
Now, I honestly don't, Les, and I never thought I would get to this point where I was pessimistic. A few weeks ago, I was defiant. I'm like, oh, all you people that are complaining about both sides yelling at each other, you're off base, and it's just normal banter back and forth, saber rattling right after negotiations begin. But now I'm as pessimistic as the next guy, and I really don't think they are going to clear this hurdle. I pray I'm wrong, but it doesn't feel like it to me right now, Les.
How about football? Do you think it goes on as scheduled on the clock?
Yes. I mean, the NFL, granted, the NFL benefited enormously from the timing. They didn't plan it this way, but the fact that they were just into their offseason when COVID shut down America or messed with America allowed them to do things on schedule that other sports weren't able to do. And now you see a situation, hopefully, where there isn't a rebound of COVID in the fall, and they can play NFL football.
It's the closeness. It's the
might not
closeness
be
of
a
the
lot
players.
fans in the stands, but I still think it'll be a great product.
Yeah, I think that the closeness, though, of blocking and tackling and sweating on each other and all that, I think that adds a whole new dimension to it all. But I'm going to assume that they won't go ahead with it unless they feel confident they can tackle this thing. And no pun intended when I say tackle it.
Agreed.
All right, we'll listen to you. That'll be on WTAM tomorrow night from 7 till what, 10?
7 to 10, yes.
7 to 10 tomorrow night on 1100. Just check out your car. Make sure you know where it is. I'm just kidding. It'll be fine. That'll do it for us. Thanks to all of you and to Steve Liverani in White House, Ohio. That'll do it for us. Tomorrow night, it is Mary Kay Cabot. Of all the shows I've ever done, this was the most recent.